Good afternoon, everyone. This is Andrew at the Wyoming Dinosaur Center, and this is Fossil Friday in the News. Our top story today is our only story today. A new study was undertaken featuring fossils used here at the Wyoming Dinosaur Center and excavated at the Foot Site, one of the many sites that we have on our properties. This unusual study was undertaken by the WDC's man in the field, Ryan Clayton from the UK, pictured here. Ryan came out a couple summers ago to begin studying unique fossils discovered from the Foot site. And in exchange, he published a paper entitled Description of Unusual Pathologic Disorders on the Pubes and Associated Left Femur from a Diplodocus Specimen. This unique feature sheds new light on the... Okay, maybe I should drop my news anchor persona for this one. So yes, as I might have stated before, one of the things that we specialize at the Wyoming Dinosaur Center isn't necessarily finding new species, although we do that as well. It's trying to figure out more about the species that we already know about, and Diplodocus is one of those. So the site we're talking about is Foot Site, where the first articulated Diplodocus foot was ever found. What do I mean? Well, so here we have a skeletal drawing of a Diplodocus. The very first bones that we found at Foot Site was the articulated back foot. All the bones connected as they would have been when the animal was alive. That's a really rare and unique discovery. And since then, we've had a number of bones come out from the site. And the bone of today's Fossil Friday is this fascinating piece right here to provide first-hand account of what it witnessed, FS 317. So tell us a little bit about your story. Thank you. So FS 317 is the pubis of a Diplodocus. For those of you who are playing at home, the pubis is this bone highlighted in green right here, part of the hip, or for a better perspective, this bone right in there. The pubis is part of the hip structure, helps anchor all the muscles at the center of mass for the animal. Now, a pubis of a Diplodocus should be completely smooth right in this section. Like, observe this side. You can see how it's nice and smooth along this edge, but this one clearly isn't. You can see this massive bulge coming off of this end, and that bulge continues right in here. This is the complete pathologic pubis. Now again, pathologies are injuries or diseases on the dinosaur bones, and this gives us an insight into what the lives of these animals are like. And in the case of this Diplodocus pubis, this is a massive growth on the edge of that. Not a natural growth, but a very big one all the same. And on top of that, according to Ryan's study, you can see these big holes in there. This is where pus was discharging, kind of a gross thought. If you remember an earlier episode of Fossil Friday, we hope you've been watching, we discussed a Camarasaurus rib that had a similar hole where pus was being discharged. Well, you have the same thing here. This is overwhelming evidence of a catastrophic injury. But what's interesting about this particular one is that this is on the inside of the bone. And, as I highlighted in my skeletal drawing here, the injury is not just contained to this pubis, it's contained to the other pubis, and it's contained to the left femur as well. So you're talking about a huge injury all in this section of the body, femur and both of the pubic bones right there. So what does this mean? Well, it's really hard to speculate based on just the bone evidence, but Ryan put together a really compelling hypothesis in his paper that this dinosaur was stepped on, probably by another one of its own kind. Now, was this a result of some kind of prehistoric fight or beating between two creatures? Hard to say. But chances are this was something that happened when the animal was young, and it was trodden upon by a larger adult, if you will. Again, just a hypothesis based on what we see. This Diplodocus was not fully grown at the time that it died, but it did have time to reheal. So that would suggest to us that this animal was young when this terrible injury happened, and that it continued to grow and heal as a result. Now that's a really fascinating idea to explore, because just think of it. An animal suffered an injury this terrible to its body, and it survived. So you could speculate a lot off of that, but unfortunately, we don't like to get too deep into speculation. But what an amazing discovery, an animal persevering, a dinosaur that we thought we knew, but we learned so much about. And this discovery was made by one of our participants in our Dig for a Day and Shovel Ready program. So you citizen scientists helped with an immensely important paleontological discovery. And we thank you for that, and thank you for participating in Fossil Fridays. We hope you'll share this video, comment on it, let us know what you think. Be sure to visit the museum's Instagram page. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, we encourage you to do that as well. But that's all the time we have for today on Fossil Friday, so we hope you'll join us again for another edition of Fossil Friday in the News.